We back, y'all. We got us a guest straight out of Oakland, California. Celebrity barber, entrepreneur, Mr. Brownie Blendz. How you doing, sir?
What's up? What's going on with it? How everybody doing?
Doing good, bro.
Already.
Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me.
Yes,
Appreciate y'all
sir.
having me. It's an honor. Yeah.
No problem. So tell us, bro, what was it like growing up in East Oakland?
Ah, shit, man. Growing up in the town, more so like we call it the town. You know what I mean? It probably comparable to any inner city. You know what I mean? Got its good times, got its bad. You know what I'm saying? But it built a lot of character. You know what I'm saying? It don't change from state to state. You know what I'm saying? A lot of hustling, a lot of struggling, a lot of all of that, but a lot of good times as well. Build a lot of character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, I wanted to ask, man, because obviously Oakland got a dope music scene, and they played a big part in hip hop. So
Yeah.
what was the music scene for you as a youngin? What was it like?
Shit, I grew up on, a lot of what we call mob music, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of that well, it kind of started off with a lot of funk, you know what I mean, with Too Short and them, and then we kind of transitioned into the mob music, you know what I mean? Real heavy bass lines, backed by funk, and then as I got a little older, the hyphy movement kind of came into play, and it got a little bit more, up tempo when the Keek the Sneaks and them hit the scene, and the Mac Dre's and all them hit the scene. They got a little bit more, like party animated type stuff. But that's pretty much what it was. But me growing up was mostly off of that, that funk and that little mob music, them heavy bass lines and 808 kicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So tell me, man, what was your high school days like? That's what you developing, from teenager, try to figure out as a young man and stuff.
Man, high school, man, I was I wasn't the greatest athlete around. I played. I was the type to I was curious, so you know what I'm saying. I tried everything. You know what I mean. So you'll see me on a football field, baseball field, basketball court. I tried it all. You know what I mean? Because I was real curious. Barbering, I didn't even get into. I was cutting hair, but I didn't really take it seriously until I really got a little bit older. It was just something that I did well. You know what I'm saying? I was into music myself. So I always thought I was gonna be. In high school, I was running around in rap battles with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna be the next. I thought I was gonna be the next Jay-Z back then. You know what I mean? But and then as I got older, I just jumped back into barbering and ended up, taking off to that. But high school was cool. You know what I'm saying? I had his rough days. Single mom. You know what I'm saying? Trying to raise 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? So but we had a lot of fun in my high school days though.
Yeah. That's
Gotcha.
what's up. When did you realize you were the truth at barber, being a barber?
I don't when I guess you could say when I realized when I actually could do it is when people start actually paying me for it. You know what I'm saying? And when the money started flowing in, you know what I mean? And I started to get overbooked, you know what I mean? I always knew I could do it, from the beginning, but I guess, the customers kind of decide that part, you know what I mean? It's one of them
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
All right. So how it originally started, like they say, you started off the porch and you say, you know what, let me go get my license. It might be my calling.
Yeah, it started off with me. I was curious, I was always, I go to the barbershop and I wonder, I was always amazed by the barbers, how they perform with everybody staring at them like that. So that always tripped me out. I always looking in where I'm from, the barbers was like the neighborhood stars in a sense because everybody knew who they was. They was like, they was always real popular. You know what I'm saying? We used to go to school. We had battles about who had the best barber and shit. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff we talked about. And I was just like, from that point when I started to like go when I. It kind of started with me struggling being able to get my hair cut as well. But then when I sat in the barber chair and went to get my hair cut, I used to go to a shop called Hamilton's Barbershop in East Oakland. And I used to sit there and I used to actually feel what they was doing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't just sit there and be in la la land. You know how the kids be on their phones right now. I'd be in there watching his hands, like out my peripheral, seeing which guard he picked up and what clippers he using for what. And then I kind of just like feel it. And I paid attention to that for, you know what I'm saying, for years, you know what I'm saying, until I kind of slowly started like grasping it. You know what I mean? I was doing that before I had even turned a pair of clippers on, you know what I mean?
That's
Gotcha.
dope, man. Okay, I want to hear your take on this, like as far as like barbershops being a crucial role in like males' lives,
Yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying? That's a spot we can go to and like chop it up, buy male things, and you know what I mean. Don't let a sports conversation get sparked up in there. What's your
Yeah.
take on the just the I guess like the whole dialogue that takes place in the barbershop, man? How important that is to us?
Yeah, I think it's very important. You know what I'm saying? I think it's something that's got lost over the years. It's not, it's not as important, as it was. It's more, it's kind of assembly line type stuff. And then you have a lot of, when I was growing up, we didn't have an appointment system. It was kind of come in and pick a number and kind of wait. And because of that, you was able to bounce around in different chairs, meet different people and stuff like that. Now the game has kind of changed a little bit. It's not unique to our culture. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, it was only black barbers in the shop. Now you got all different races cutting hair now. So there's some cultural differences in there as well, which is not a bad thing, but it also takes a while to kind of get comfortable, for people to understand each other. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was always, you walk in a barbershop. First off, women back in the day knew really that really wasn't their spot. They was kind of dropping their kids off and they was waiting in the car or whatever, or pops was bringing them to the barbershop. So it was like, once you got in that door, you knew you kind of left everything outside because you knew you was going, whatever you was going through, you was going to get some game. Or you could talk to your barber and be like, man, I'm going through this. And they have some, they had answers for you. You know what I'm saying? They generally was, a lot older back then. I think barbers are a lot younger now, you know what I'm saying? So they don't, but when I was growing up, all my barbers was probably like, a lot older than me, you know what I mean? Starting from a kid, you know what I'm saying? And it just you just knew once you walked in the barbershop, you was gonna get some good game or something, or some knowledge to help you through something. There's a lot of life lessons in there. It was like the Black Man's Country Club, you know what I mean?
Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Now, can you remember your first entertainer or athlete that you first start cutting hair for, like as a client?
Yeah. My first, it's probably about 9 to 10 years ago. My first client was a safety for the Oakland Raiders. His name was Tyvon Branch. He was the first person that first celebrity that I had dealt with. And at that time, I didn't really understand levels of celebrity. I just like, you play in the league, then I realized and shit, I'm excited. I was always, you know what I'm saying? But he was a pretty big name back then, and he gave me an opportunity, and then from there, I just kind of actually from cutting his hair, it didn't even go into the next person. It was just kind of like I cut his hair a couple of times while his barber was out of town, and so that relationship had really stopped. He didn't really pass me on to no, no other clients as well. But I would say some of the haircuts I did on him, I was able to post on my Instagram, and it was able to kind of add to my resume. So it was just kind of good on my resume. But I really had to keep fighting after that to kind of build new clients. You know what I mean? But after cutting his hair with what he paid me, it was something that I knew I wanted to, continue to do.
Yeah. So, like, speaking about that, like when you start getting paid for what you do, I heard you speak about money management in the interview. Like, what helped you develop that mindset on money management, knowing how to manage it?
I don't think you ever completely all the way learn it. I think all through life you making mistakes and learning from them. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the things I noticed a lot of barbers was, a lot of barbers kind of, never worked in a formal environment. You know what I mean? Where you go to work and you kind of you got somebody taking money out your check for retirement and putting this up and saving this kind of for you. You know what I mean? Paying your taxes for you because it comes completely out your check. Well, when you're an entrepreneur, it takes kind of even more discipline. You got to do all that stuff yourself. You know what I'm saying? So what I noticed was a lot of guys in the barbershop making tons of money. You know what I mean? But we was getting cash in hand, and guys was just, go get the latest kicks, take their girl out to eat, do different things. And then, towards the end of the week, you kind of trying to cut 1 million heads in a day to try to, make up and just take care of things. So just understanding the importance of having to try to, okay, I'm doing this myself. So it ain't nobody, when I get this $100, ain't nobody taking the 12% or whatever the government rate is. Ain't nobody taking it out, for me. And then I knew that, one day you want to buy a house, you want to get a loan, you want to buy a car, you have to have documented income. You know what I mean? So you can't just walk in and tell, a lender that, well, I cut 20 heads last week, so I should be good, or I plan on cutting 20 heads next week. No, they want to see documented what you made for the year. You know what I'm saying? So, and just knowing those things young, these are some of the pitfalls that I would run into as I got older if I didn't, learn how to really manage because it's hard to, it's different when you're getting a weekly paycheck than when you're getting paid day to day, and you're an entrepreneur. It takes a whole lot more responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Say, since you a barber and now you be in the shop, house calls, what's it like with the traveling life? You be having rappers and athletes give you call on demand. So explain to us what's that like.
Yeah, the traveling is crazy. I've been doing it. It's kind of tapered down now because I went from probably having I've been able to kind of grab a hold of my business now. I've been in the game for 10 years now doing it as far as doing the celebrity stuff and the house calls. For the first 3 to 4 years, I was pretty much working around the clock, 13, 14 hours and running here and there, putting tons of miles on my car, driving from different cities, flying to different cities. But probably about my 5th year in, I realized it wasn't about having a whole lot of clients. It's about building relationships with particular ones that could propel you, kind of into the future. So the time away from home was rough, you know what I mean? And kind of doing that, my family struggled a lot because I was always gone. But I think once I was able to manage it and understand what my overall goal was, I was able to kind of taper it down, figure out which of my clients I had the biggest upside with that could help me and was, propel me into my next goal, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to, I stopped taking new clients and things of that nature. And I started to really work closely with the clients who I actually call my brothers now, you know what I mean? And we just moved that way, and it's kind of simplified things for me. But it's a grind, I'll be telling the youngsters all the time who want to, a lot of the barbers who want to do, they all hit me up and they want to kind of do what I'm doing and kind of getting and a lot of people think it's just about a haircut. They want to, put the crispy lines on people and post it on the ground. But, to do what I do, it's the actual haircut is such a small part of what's going on. You know what I mean? It takes a certain type of, your character means a lot. You know what I mean? You got to be trustworthy. You got to be all those things, know how to carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to be discreet. It's a lot of things that you can't, rush to. You got to know when to pull your phone out and take pictures and not to. You know what I mean? You dealing. It's a different type of world when you're in that arena, and a lot of guys don't even understand the whole and what it takes. A lot of sacrifice too. You know what I mean? There's times where, you might be at dinner with your girl or something, and you get a call from, you know what I'm saying, somebody big, you know what I mean, and you may be your first time. You got to make that decision right there, or they may not be big. They may just be somebody on the end of the bench that really nobody knows about. He might be on a practice squad or something, or in the G League or something. But you got to make a decision at that time. Is how I'm trying to push my career forward, so I need to get up and go, or because that person at the end of the bench might know. He might be best friends with the biggest person in the league. You just don't know that. You know what I mean? So, but it just takes a lot of sacrifice. The last 10 years, I've had to sacrifice a lot of my personal life in order to get to where I'm at. And that's one of the things that people don't understand.
All right. So what did it do to your mindset when you started traveling and being around different crowds of people? Like, how did that help you?
At first, when it first started, I'll be in certain rooms. I've worked with pretty much everybody in the industry almost, and I think at first it was like you'll be around, you get around people and it's a wow factor at first, but then after a while you kind of get used to the environment. It's important that you get used to the environment as fast as possible, because if you don't, you won't be in it, for a long time. If you too gaze, like your eyes is too, pearly, and you starstruck, and you know what I mean, all that type of stuff, you won't be around long. You know what I mean? So I got used to it. You know what I'm saying? And it, at the end of the day, it's just business now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So one more thing, and hopefully we get into some sports or music. So how did you get the contact for HBO to shop Cause I seen, you cutting hair while, LeBron and Maverick had a
Yeah,
celebrity and stuff.
yeah. Well, a good a friend of mine, actually, my brother, is Draymond Green. So he, that was kind of my connection about 5 years ago to the shop. He made the introduction through another female friend that worked for Uninterrupted named Cree. She was a former employee of Uninterrupted. They set it up once the shop, came up. I went down and, I did one episode and, just kind of hit it off with everybody there. You know what I mean? Mav and Brown and PR, all the people that's a part of that show. It's not HBO anymore. It's on Uninterrupted right now. I mean, it's always been Uninterrupted, but right now they're filming their episodes on their YouTube channel right now. Sponsored by Grey Goose, but it's no longer the first. Last 2 seasons were with HBO, but they moved on from there. But that's pretty much how that got going. You know what I mean? My dog ended up kind of walking me in the door. You know what I mean? A little bit, but I had to kind of take it from there and just kind of build those relationships with everybody over there at Uninterrupted.
So before we go to sports, I wanted to ask you about this. So we living in the push and P era right now. And I heard that term was originated in Oakland. Is that true?
That's a term we've been using in Oakland since I've been, man, as far as back as I can remember. But it was always, we still use it now. It was always just keeping it player. You know what I'm saying? We've been saying that for, Oakland is the, the home of the Mac. It's where the Mac was made. You know what I'm saying? So it was always like keeping it player was always like, was one of the main things. That's all we always we've been saying that since I was in elementary school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I heard. So it's good to find out the origins to that, man.
Yeah.
Go to you, DJ.
Well, like I said, you say you're from East Oakland, even though we're supposed to get into sports. You got any athletes or rappers from your side?
Yeah, we got a ton of rappers, rappers. As far as rappers, you got of course you got Too Short, you know what I'm saying, Richie Rich. You got you got now from the Bay that's doing it's a ton of young guys. I mean, you got what you got from out here? 24K Golden. You got you got Guap Dad. You got a bunch of dudes from out here. Athletes, Marshawn Lynch. You know what I'm saying, Jason Kidd. A lot of guys from here. Gary Payton, you know what I mean? It's a few guys who came from up out here. Yep.
Already.
I wonder how is it seeing where the Warriors are today, man? Like being a dynasty they are compared to. I mean, they've always had like good teams, but for them to be like a dynasty right now, how is that? Like seeing that?
It's been great, because I was here during all the years when they didn't have much going on. You know what I mean? We never played. You'll see Warriors players back in the day. You see them walking through the mall, and you just walk right past. Didn't even care. Nobody cared. We were so horrible, And so for that's why I always say when it comes to like, Steph, Draymond, Clay, even Kyle, you add KD into the mix. You know what I'm saying? Shout out KD. I even add him to the mix because, we got three championships. So to me, based on our experiences growing up, to me, if Steph, Clay, and Draymond didn't do nothing else, they good with me. They should always have the key to the city because they brought more success, to this actual city than any team, in the past. You know what I mean? Only one comparable might be the Oakland A's got a few championships. Got a few World Series under their belt, but outside of that, and a lot of that was before I was even born. So the most exciting. When I say Oakland, because the Warriors played in Oakland, you know what I mean? The 49ers always did their thing. The Raiders was in LA most of my young life, you know what I mean? But I think the Warriors have brought more success from a sports franchise to Oakland than anything we ever seen. So to me, I'm forever grateful of that. And then for me to be so close to the situation and having and all them being my real good friends now is it's like icing on the cake. You know what I mean? It's been an exciting 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
That's what's up, man. How big are you on the music scene? Like, who you listening to recently or new that's out?
I've been listening to. I'm a big hip hop nerd. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them rap nerd hip hop heads. You know what I mean? So I right now, just globally, who I'm listening to right now, I'm listening to a lot of Griselda stuff. I'm listening to a lot of Benny the Butcher and Conway right now. I'm kind of ODing on that. You know what I'm saying? Also listen to a lot of guys. I'm a big Drake fan. I like Drake. You know what I'm saying? Also, you know, it's a lot of guys here. You know what I'm saying? It's a group called it's a group of guys called Grand National with a guy named Kevin Allen who's real nice to me. I mean, it's a bunch of old Bay Area artists. You got Stunner Man, you got the Big Stepping Song, you got Jay Stalin in them, you got Filthy Riches, you got all of them. I love it all, man. You know, I listen to. I don't really discriminate. I fuck with Rick Ross heavy too. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of guys out here I be rocking with.
Word. Okay. Are you into like the whole comedy scene?
Not really. You know what I'm saying? I watch big stand-ups, but I don't be doing too much comedy. I don't be you know, back in the day I used to watch a lot of the comedy kind of went to social media, so I follow like the Instagram comedians like Desi Banks and them, and you know what I mean? And what's the other dude named Country Wayne? He having, you know what I'm saying? That's it. But it ain't not too much stand-up no more like it used to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I had asked because it's a young cat out there called Lewis Belt. He I want to say he did a stand-up for the one that Boogie threw some years ago.
Lewis. No, that's my dog, Ludo. He from out. You know, he be in North Oakland a lot. I think Lou might be from Antioch as well, though. But we all so close. But he good. I hung out with him a few times. Yeah, that's my dog. He real cool. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah. What about football side? Like, you got a favorite squad?
Yeah, I'm always be a Raider fan, man. You know what I'm saying? But now I got, you know, relationships all around the league, so I be rooting for players a lot. But if I had to pick a team, you know, the Raiders, everybody know I'm a Raider fan, you know, but I always root for any of my guys that's in the league. I always wish for them to do well, you know what I'm saying?
Word. Who you got any predictions for this upcoming season? Some teams you feel like maybe can take it?
Man, you know, football is year to year, man. It's so much it's so much movement, you know, going on right now. You know, the AFC West just got crazy with Russell Wilson, and now you got, you know, in the division now. Now you got Khalil Mack in the division again. We got to see that dude twice a year. We got to see. I already had to deal with Mahomes and Herbert and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hoping we get better, you know, going forward, because the AFC West is probably, you could probably argue that the Super Bowl winner gonna probably come out the West. You know what I mean? The AFC, you know.
Yeah. We was talking about how Derek Carr, man, he low key he held it down for y'all for a while, man, and to stick through the turmoil, because it sounded like, you know, they was trying to move on from like a couple years ago, so he been holding it down. Yeah, like y'all just need a few more pieces. Y'all go straight.
Yeah, we gotta get stronger on the defensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? And get a little bit more consistent. We need a wideout too, though. You know what I'm saying? We had a stronger, easier path to the Super Bowl when we had Henry Ruggs. You know what I'm saying? And before that situation happened, you know what I'm saying? It kind of messed everything up. But we got a lot of good pieces on the offensive side of the ball. We gotta get a little stronger on defense, get some consistency at wide receiver. We'll be straight.
Yeah,
we'll be all right.
For sure.
Yeah.
DJ, you got anything?
My brother, that's all I had.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all doing, man.
Yes, sir. I want to thank you for coming on, man.
For sure. Absolutely. I know this podcast world is a grind, man. We keep grinding it.
Yes,
you know
sir.
Keep going. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. We appreciate y'all. Y'all heard it here first, man. Brownie Blendz. Make sure y'all tap in with him, man. Oh yeah, shout out to your IG and any kind of announcements you need to make before we wrap up.
Brownie_Blendz. If y'all in the Bay Area, look us up at KJ's Barbershop. We got 7 locations throughout the Bay Area. Check us out if y'all ever in the Bay Area. Look for me on the shop Uninterrupted. Y'all soon.
Sir. Yeah, I heard it here first. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.